Hello and welcome to the last team of my MSI 2022 preview. We're covering T1, who I have first going into the tournament. To no one's surprise, coming off of an undefeated LCK split, we all are not surprised by this. So, if you haven't watched my videos before, I took notes of the international experience of each player throughout the whole tournament, all 11 teams, and went over, what I thought of the team going into this. With the smaller region teams, it was all stats based. I didn't watch any games. So, of the smaller regions, I watched pretty much all the games of the four major regions this past split as they occurred. I was doing reviews of those games as part of my League of Legends roundup. I will be doing that for MSI as well. I've also been doing individual role rankings, and you see that here they're ranked throughout the whole entire process. I've been doing that, and now I'm doing videos specifically on each role and going over the most played champions because somebody wanted to see that sort of stuff, and I said, well, that sounds interesting. We'll go over what the players are playing and how some players might have pocket picks versus others. For instance, like yesterday at AD Carry, Holy Phoenix played Lucian. I think that was his tied for his most played champion this past split, and nobody else played any Lucian really. So, I mean, it was interesting to go over stuff like that. Like, oh, well, all of a sudden, Istanbul could pull out a Lucian Nami. I mean, if there's going to be a Lucian Nami, it'll be Istanbul pulling it out. Or when it came to Ezreal, Titan plays Ezreal. JoJo plays Bard for CBLOL Red Canids. They have an option to play Ezreal Bard. Like, that's where those videos kind of give some interesting information. I did have a fan on that video. And by having a fan on it, I mean I had a fan in the comments. I thought, from Vietnam, they were pretty, enthusiastic. I guess Shogun's visa has been worked out, so he's playing and not Big Koro, which is okay. I mean, good thing his visa got worked out because the second place team in Vietnam from a minor region is going to an international event. And when was the last time Vietnam did super well with their best team? So, I mean, either way, Shogun would have been 11th, just in case you watch that video and you wonder why is Brig Koro not at this tournament and Shogun is when you watch MSI. That's why. Shogun is, I think, cleared to play now. So, that's that. T1, Zayas has never played an international event. Very young and raw. This team is very young and raw outside of Faker. So that's kind of the deal with this team. It's a situation where either this is going to go really well or it's going to go really bad because of the pressure. Luckily, they are going to MSI, and they didn't stink during spring and then had to go to Worlds because Worlds would have been, even more pressure than... Well, I guess actually, given that MSI is in Korea, I guess there is a lot of pressure. So... Excuse me, Zayas never played an international event. Memento has only coached for one international event last year at Worlds with this team. They would go 10-4. Owner and Gumi Yushi, Gumi Yushi, but Guma. That was their first international event where they ran the team. Were starters on the team. They'd go 10-4, finish third, fourth. Owner is first in my jungle rankings. I will say I feel like jungle is probably the weakest position at this tournament. I don't feel comfortable putting a player so inexperienced at first. It's a thing. If they're the best, they're the best. And Owner has shown to be very good throughout spring, so he is first. But I wonder how he's going to handle this moment. Last year at Worlds, he had a 3.34 KDA. KDA is whatever, but it is obviously higher with today and RNG yesterday. These two teams clearly being better than the rest. CS per minute is in the range we want it to be in, 5 to 6 for the good junglers. Faker, obviously we all know who Faker is. I took a little bit of heat for putting him first in my mid rankings. I feel like mid is the most contested position at this tournament, followed by AD Carry. So, for it to be, for him, it's contested. Some people might not think he's first, but I think, this past year he did this past split he did very, very well with this young team. facilitating, making things happen. When he had to, his farming is still up to par where it should be, especially for a player of his age. That's impressive. He's been to 10 international events, won MSI twice, won Worlds 3 times. Greatest of all time. 156 matches played, 72% win rate, and an 8.89 CS per minute throughout all those tournaments, including back all the way to 2013 when farming wasn't even like the same as it is today. So it's pretty incredible. Gumiusi, he is first, similar to Owner in the fact that, he's young and raw. Having him first kind of gives me, a little bit of, uncertainty, but I will say, he came on strong last year. 10.2 CS per minute at Worlds. Like, that's like Uzi type stuff. Like, Uzi obviously had great tournaments. I believe one MSI or Worlds, he had over 11 to 11.5 CS per minute. Like, Uzi is probably the greatest AD carry of all time. But Guma is coming on strong immediately. And honestly, this bot lane is scary. This bot lane is the strong portion of T1 in my opinion. And I think this is the way they beat RNG. If they beat RNG. Like I said, last year, him and Owner, first time going to an international event, 10.2 CS per minute, very good. KDA, over 5. He didn't die a lot. My KDA numbers do not match what you see on most sites because I count assists as half. I don't think assists are as valuable as kills, which hurts supports, but supports, we don't really care about their stats like that. I don't have kill participation as a category on this board throughout this process, but kill participation, champion pool, things like that are actually really important to me when it comes to supports, making things happen. How many different ways can you play the game and affect the game with your champion pool? And that's why Carrier is first at support, and I'll get into more of that later today in my support video. But he is first. I think he's disgusting at the role. Very young. This is his second Worlds already. Last year he went with, not his second Worlds already. He's been to 2 Worlds. This is his 3rd international event and 3rd international appearance. He went with DRX in 2020. He's very, very good. This bot lane is disgusting. This is the strong suit of T1. If Zayas, which the problem with Zayas is he played a ton of Jace and he played a ton of carries top. I really hope that they start putting him on some tanks, because when he has to go against Bin, I think that is where I think they're going to try it. They're going to try and make it a carry versus carry matchup or skill-based match, and I think that's what everyone wants. But I think T1's key to success is to not do that and play a more scaled back game when it comes to Zayas and top, and focus more on getting Guma and Carrier ahead. Because like I think I said yesterday, Ming versus Carrier is going to be a great matchup, which maybe I'll get into more in my video later today. But I think Guma is so much better than Gala in pot. I don't think it's close. I really don't. Guma is just on another level. The 80 carry, the young 80 carries at this tournament, the big 4. People are, you got like Holy Phoenix, Utapon, and Unified, and a couple others that are Titan, that are a little bit older than these 4. And that's not good. That's not good. Like, not only are, not as good as the big 4, but you're also older. And maybe that's better, can handle the moment. That's where experience comes into play. Champion pool comes into play. But, this is a good time in League for 80 carry. I'm excited for this tournament in that way. Which, maybe I didn't display a lot yesterday in the video that I went over, but that's how I feel. I think because the champion pools are so similar, kind of made that video boring. And today's support video is a lot like that as well. But as far as this goes, T1, definitely first for me. This team, I think the only way this team loses is because they can't handle the moment. It won't be because they're not good enough. Like, that is the situation that this team is in. I also am curious how the coach does, because, he could get out-coached. I mean, he got outcoached last year. He may get outcoached again. I mean, last year at Worlds by the same. I mean, RNG's coach is EDG's coach. So, I mean, we'll see if they made adjustments and are going to be better. I mean, that's the kind of the thing, right? You're undefeated going into an international event. You probably don't think you need to make adjustments, but you need to make adjustments. You need to, go out of your comfort zone a bit with your strategy, to give a little bit something fresh. At least do it in scrims to give a different vibe to your opponents. Because, I mean, um, it's hard. It's one of those things like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But at the same time, everybody is seeing what you're doing, and in an event like this, if you play the if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it does break, you're out. So it's gonna be interesting. I really like this team going into this event. Obviously, I'm rooting for EG, but I know EG is not going to win probably. So, um, thank you for watching this video. Like the video if you like it. Comment down below if you have an opinion on T1. What do you think the strong part of this team is? Don't say all of it, because I mean that's cheating. But subscribe to the channel if you want daily league content. I do videos every day. I intend on continuing to do that throughout MSI. I have the support video coming out today. Tomorrow I'm going to go over Group A specifically, and give my predictions on how I think Group A is going to turn out, as well as a video on the pocket pick champions, because somebody suggested they wanted to see that. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. Like I said, thank you for watching, and I hope you come back for more content.